a moment behind. In touch with the ground, I'm on the hunt, I'm after you. Center the sound, I'm lost and I'm found, and I'm hungry like the wolf. Strong on the line, it's discord and rhyme. I howl and I whine, I'm after you. Mouth is alive, I'm running inside, and I'm hungry like the wolf.
Yeah, alright, you interview him. Yeah? No, what are you playing today?
It's a bit wanky.
No, interview him. No, just do a different question. Different question. What are you?
Yeah, so, yeah,
What are you playing?
What are you playing today?
I'm playing Grixis Control, read Duke's list. Pretty well bang on what he played. He went 15-2 or something with it at a GP.
And why did you choose that one?
Sav told me to play it.
And why do you think Sav told you to play?
Well, I was playing Food Chain and then Death Ray Shaman got banned. So I thought the deck wasn't good without Shaman. Not good enough. I wanted a new deck. He just recommended it, so I played it, and I really, really like it. It's great. It's a control deck technically, but plays out a lot more like mid-range, and I think people sideboard against you incorrectly because they think you're a control deck, and actually you're just a mid-range grinder.
Yeah, you were saying that it's only got the Force of Wills as the counters, isn't it?
Yeah, people play around counter spells all the time, and they're just like, there's 4 forces in the deck, and most of the time you side them out unless you're against combos. So,
Can I ask you a couple of specific questions about your deck?
sure.
So, I heard you and Sav debating whether or not True Name should be in the main, and you've got the 2 Go-Mags, so
Yeah.
why do you think that's the better decision?
Well, Reed Duke told me to do it, first of all. He called me up personally and he said it. But I just, the 1 mana is very different. It just always seems to come up. True Name's a really strong card. I think it's like really, really powerful. I can't rate it enough, but just being able to play a 1 mana threat, a lot of the time, because you've got Colligan's commands, you're going to get them back. So a lot of the time, if you trade off the Gurmag anyway, you're fine with it. You know, you just want a big old wall that you're happy to block with. Against opposing True Names, you can race. You know, against Burn, it's better. Like when you're trying to race, the extra 2 power is really, really different. Like it makes a huge difference to be able to race them. And obviously the fact that it costs 1 mana most of the time, plenty of times I've gone like, you know, Lily Last Hope gets countered. Okay, now I've got 5 in my bin, fetch land 6, go mega but can't do that with a True Name.
Yeah, so you get to play the 2 spells in the turn.
Yeah, I'm quite confident that 2 Gurmag's definitely correct.
Yeah, and so I also heard you're running a main deck Pyroblast.
Okay,
So can you
spoilers.
Take us,
Is this going to be played before? Okay.
This is live to Facebook.
Yeah. Send it to my finals opponent.
so take us through why you play the main deck Pyroblast. That's unusual, right?
Reed Duke told me to do it, so I did it. I haven't put heaps of thought into this deck. I put a lot of hours into the deck, but I haven't put a lot of thought into it. I just like copied Reed's list, and I was like, yep, this is correct. And I didn't make heaps of changes. I made a few changes to the sideboard, but the main board is exactly the same.
This must be a change that he made after GP Richmond, where he got blown up by Back to Basics.
He did,
Right.
yeah. So he had Inquisition, and he took it out for Pyroblast, and you run 4 Brainstorm, 4 Ponder, 3 Jace. So it's just like so easy to manipulate your deck. Like even if you have it in an opening hand, I don't roll that. I'm like, yeah, I'm probably playing against blue. It's probably going to be unexpected. You need something for Back to Basics. You need something for counterbalance. And it's like really good against a huge amount of the field. And I make the argument, what's the difference between that and like having mainboard Fatal Push against Storm? We're running 2 Fatal Push, 2 Double Like Edict, and that's, you know, there's only a certain percentage of the meta that runs creatures, so you know, why not? And yeah, it's really easy. Even if you have it in hand, like eventually you're going to hit a Brainstorm, and eventually you're going to be able to shuffle it away. It's just inevitable. That's the difference. People think like, oh, you know, what if you don't? There's like 4, 7. It's 10 fetches in the deck, and like 7 ways to Brainstorm. So.
Yeah.
It's inevitable that you're going to be able to get out of your hand.
So what's your best matchup and what's your worst matchup?
Yeah, I was going to ask this. Lands has gotta be bad,
worst
right?
is probably lands. I've got an extra graveyard hate,
What's that?
Fairy Macabre, because I'm also scared of Chancellor of the Annex, which is the Black Red Reanimator guy.
Yeah.
It's really, I just hate losing. It's one of those, like, it's a bit of a pet card because I hate losing to Blackwood Reanimator, when you've got opening hand surgical, you're on turn 0, you've got a 0 mana interaction for that deck to blow them out, and you can't cast it because Chancellor taxes you 1, and they go off turn 1. It's like super annoying. And Fairy Macabre's also really cool because it makes your Colligan's command good, which is normally really bad in like those kinds of matchups. So you get to like, for 3 mana you get to go like, oh, Fairy Macabre, they can't interact with it, they can't, tax it, and then you get to go like, Colligan's, whatever, destroy your Lotus Petal, get back Fairy Macabre again.
Yeah, right.
And they don't expect it.
Yeah. Now you still run an engineered play in the side.
Yeah.
Take us through that, because I enjoyed talking to you about that last time. What's the reason?
Engineered Play's really good. It's not that much elves, but I think I initially put it in there because I struggled against elves when I was on Food Chain, and I just loved it. It just came up, like, especially in real, we're playing Proxy today, but especially in real Legacy, there's a lot of like fun decks, like Goblins. Goblins is good. Goblins is good.
Play against Goblins.
There's humans, there's soldiers, like there's a lot of
There's a lot of tribal
There's
stuff.
a lot of tribal stuff. There's merfolk, and you'd be surprised.
And all the rogues as well.
Even Eldrazi, not the big Eldrazi, but the small ones that run the Eldrazi Mimic, that's good. The big ones, though, are Death and Taxes, named Human. It's pretty sweet. And Rogue for True Name Nemesis, because True Name is a really tough one for us to beat. I know I was just saying it's not as good. I think the card's amazing, but we really struggle against True Name of Young Pyromancer.
But you wouldn't bring in Engineer in the mirror, would you?
No, because there's only one True Name, probably, and maybe not. But also against Blue-White, they run Mentor.
Yeah.
So you can name Monk, and they've got a 1/1 Mentor, but they can't make tokens, and the guy's a 1/1. You could get big of it, who cares? You've got to get a Gangler, or you can Colligan's him at that point. So it switches that off. Also, people run heaps of Bitter Blossoms. The amount of times I've been like, oh, I need Engineer Plague off the top, or I lose. It comes up a lot. But Bitter Blossom against like blue-black decks, they play Bitter Blossom and True Name, and you can just like proactively play it, into an empty board if you just want to be proactive, and name something like you might Python it or something, or you can hold it and wait to see if they're gonna place it. But against Bitter Blossom make Rogue, and True Name's a Rogue, so you can name Rogue, and they've got Bitter Blossom out and they just lose a life a turn, and then True Name dies. It's just a massive blowout. Delver's a human and Young Pyromancer's a human, so against blue-red decks is quite good. I think it's really, really good.
The last question, do you think you're favoured against Miracles?
Yep.
Alright.
Why is that?
Because I'm running 4 red blasts in my main board.
You go basic mountain as well, or not? No basic mountain.
Probably,
You
might
find
be
the Badlands or something though, don't you?
It definitely comes up, to be honest.
Yeah.
Getting back to basics is pretty relevant, and you can get in a really tricky spot. The only problem with it is that counterbalance is really, really strong. I'm not scared of back to basics, I'm scared of counterbalance.
Okay.
Because I can eventually find and fight over a Pyroblast, but if they have counterbalance out, there's only so much fighting you can do. You can't Pyroblast and then you can't even brains, because they usually leave 1-drops on top. If their default is just leave a 1-drop on top, so
you find yourself having to find a way to test for that.
you got to bait it out with something else, and then you're like, okay, they've got Snappy on top, now I can Pyroblast this, and then they just brainstorm, and you're like, so counterbalance is an issue, but otherwise it's favoured.
Good luck with the tourney, mate. We'll check in with you later and see how you're going.
Thanks, man.